Yes.
Yes, then after calculating that, you now go and substitute in the other expression, which is total consumption equals to C naught plus BYD. And then you get your, yes, you get your value. Okay?
Yes.
Have you understood?
Yes.
And what is the value for the total consumption now?
It's 100 billion shillings.
Yes, 100 billion shillings. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, since you have understood, let us now move to what? But don't forget to write the formula. Let's move to the exercise. The exercise given there is, let someone read for us. Annette, you read for us the exercise. Then you calculate it. Yes. Annette? Annette, read for us the exercise. The question. Ochuku?
Yes.
Read for us the exercise. The question there, then we calculate it. Read for us the exercise there. Yes. Given that
in a country, MPC equal to 0.6, autonomous consumption expenditure is 150 billion, while disposable income is 200 billion shillings. Calculate induced consumption.
Yes.
Total.
That's Roman 1. Roman 2. Good. So let's go ahead and calculate. Yes, let's go ahead and calculate that. In each of those two cases, you write the formula and then you substitute. I give you 2 minutes. Let's go complete that and then we move on to something else.
Yes.
So that angle is between two. There can be 2 lines. There can be 2 points. Okay. So even this kind of angles which are here, for instance, look at this one and this one. They are subtended by 2 lines. This and this, this and this, but they are to the same. So they are subtended by 2 lines. That's why we say the angle subtended. Yes, the angle at, but the angle subtended. Okay, this point. So subtended by the same arc. So they appear to be.
This one.
You take more.
This one.
Patricia.
This is it. Look at this. Look at this photo. 57. Where is 57?
Running to dictionary.
57.
Okay, let us go to the next.
Now here you see 57.
This is property number 3.
That's where the first step will be.
So property
Here 57, 71.
Have you finished?
Must be fixed there.
Okay.
And the name
2 minutes are up.
Okay, there. Property number 3 says that the
Kachuku?
angle.
Yes.
Have you finished? The first bit, the first part? Hey, what do we get?
12 billion shillings. 120 billion shillings.
120 billion shillings. Annette, welcome back. Annette?
The angle.
Hey, the second part, what do we get? The first part, we have got 120 billion shillings. The second part, what do we get? Roman 2?
207 billion.
Yes, good. 270 billion shillings. So I hope you have understood how to calculate that. Sandra, are we together?
Yes.
Okay, that is good. So we have understood how to calculate that. Just to remind ourselves, induced consumption is given by BYD. Okay, and then autonomous consumption is given by C naught. So when you're getting the total consumption, you will say C naught plus BYD. then you can be able to get your value of total consumption. Any questions? Annette, you have something to say?
So there they have very many examples.
Annette? So Sandra, do you have something to
Yes,
say? Do you have anything to say?
Sandra,
Okay, let's move on. We're moving on to the next term there. There is a term that we need to define there, marginal propensity to consume. I've been talking about that. What does it refer to? Marginal propensity to consume refers to the fraction of additional income which is used for consumption, which is spent on consumption. Or you can simply say it refers to the proportion of the additional income which is used for consumption. Now that word marginal, when you say marginal, it is an additional, it is an extra, okay? So that is marginal propensity to consume. And we normally use MPC to abbreviate that. It is allowed to use MPC, but it must be in capital letters. So that is MPC. It has a formula as well. MPC is given by change in consumption over change in income. MPC equals to change in consumption over change in income. Or you can say MPC equals to that delta C over delta Y. That delta you see there, okay, it is a Greek letter, which means change. The delta, that delta, which looks like a what? Like a triangle there. It is the same as change. It is a Greek letter, which means change. Okay. So where you see that delta, just know it refers to a change. Okay. So change in C over change in Y. So when they ask you to define MPC, you say it refers to the proportion of the additional income which is spent on consumption. Okay. So we are going to look at an example as well there. There's that example which says in an economy there is a change in income from 60 billion shillings to 100 billion shillings. While consumption rises from 20 billion shillings to 40 billion shillings. Calculate the size of MPC. Let us calculate that. I give you 2 minutes to calculate that, then we move on. I give you 2 minutes. Annette, 2 minutes. Remember to write the formula and then you substitute. Yes? Hey, you write the formula, then you substitute. Get the value of MPC. It has no units. I'm giving you 2 minutes so that we move on.
So this angle here is the angle of tendency. Now, the angle, any angle that is inside this other angle, have any angle. If you want to look for the medical point of what you do to get ice, that's really this still water. Use this still water and then tap water. Then try to crush both of them. And insert them. Have any angle which is supposed to be. We looked at the materials. Why do they use plastic cups? That's plastic cups. Glass cup or electric cup or any other cup. That's okay. And have this. Yes, but. Okay. So this angle which is here, this angle is because it is in this angle. Okay, in this stage they are using. Yeah, that's true. What you have said is true. And now they are saying here twice. Ice is made. So if you have any that is there, you have ice another angle. What's this angle now? It's not side. It's not in this kind of pizza that you like. It's kind of pizza shape that you like. It's other side. So this angle which is X. This angle is X. And the other angle which is X is
Have we finished? Yes, Sandra, what is the answer?
I have to.
So the angle.
You have what?
2.
Yes.
Ah, where did you get 2 from? Right, you check your substitutions.
Can I have a half?
Yes, I have. What do you have?
May I have 0.5?
Yeah, 0.5. Right. Now, Sandra, check your substitutions. A half is correct. Sandra, check your substitutions. The formula says MPC equals change in consumption over change in income.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, so you've seen some errors you've made there?
Yes.
You correct that. Have you corrected it?
Yes.
Okay, that is okay. So now remember, members, you need to write the formula. If you don't, you will not get any mark for any substitution. You must include the formula there. So MPC equals to change in consumption over change in income. But don't forget also to define. The definition is also very important. Don't only recall the formula. Majority of the students recall only the formula. They will start writing for you MPC equals to change in consumption over change in income. The definition is clear. Marginal propensity to consume refers to the fraction of the additional income that is spent on consumption. Okay. So MPC equals to 0.5 or equals to a half. Let's move to the next, which is average propensity to consume, which is APC, average propensity to consume. Now, average propensity to consume is not defined the same way as marginal propensity to consume. What is average propensity to consume? It refers to the fraction of total income which is spent on consumption. The fraction of the total income spent on consumption. Remember, MPC, we define it as the fraction of the additional income spent on consumption. Now, APC, which is average propensity to consume, we are saying it refers to the fraction of the total income which is spent on consumption. Now, APC is given by total consumption over total income, or APC equals to C over Y, capital C over capital Y. Okay? Is that okay, members?
Yes.
Good. Now, there is that example there. Once again, we calculate it and then we move on. I hope those calculations, you are transferring them in your books. You better transfer them there, because if you don't transfer them, you'll be in trouble. The first one is differentiate between average propensity to consume and marginal propensity to consume. That one we can differentiate. Okay?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
That one you can differentiate, because average propensity to consume refers to the fraction of the total income which is spent on consumption, while marginal propensity to consume refers to the fraction of the additional income that is spent on consumption. You have distinguished. Then Roman 2 is the one we are interested in. Given that a country's total income is 60,000 billion shillings and its total consumption is 48,000 billion shillings. Calculate the APC. I'm giving you 2 minutes there. Let's do that very fast and then we move on. Once again, it has no units. Yes.
Altogether, we are half of this. So this is x, this is x, this is also x.
Which of these is a ABC?
Yes,
So don't give you
network is making you to speak. Yes, ask please.
which one? H.
Which one?
Why?
Who has put this arrow here?
Why? What has made you say H?
Anyone who's asking a question, your network is very poor, please you just type your question.
That's good.
So any angle that you will be
Let's say H.
outside is exactly half of this. So it means that this is tracing.
That's a good
So it means that this angle which is here, if I connect it to
who else and C?
because an angle must be between two lines.
Yes.
So Sandra, what is your answer? What is what's the result?
4 over 5. 4 over 5.
4 over 5, which is the same as what? In decimal points?
0.8.
Good, 0.8. Ochuku, have you got that?
Yes, I got 0.8.
Okay. I repeat again, the formula is very important. If you substitute minus writing the formula, you are finished. They will not give you any mark. You must write the formula in this particular case. Okay? Even if you write it as capital C over capital Y, there's no problem. Or you can simply say APC equals to total consumption over total income. So, any questions before we proceed?
It's around 28.
Who else has not?
Yes?
I see.
Any questions?
Members, are you there?
Rebecca, where are you?
Ochuku?
Yes.
Rebecca.
Any
No
questions?
question.
You are there.
Okay. Okay. Factors which affect or determine or influence consumption in an economy. Now, these factors are supposed to be neutral. Neutral, meaning that they should bring out, when you state them, they should not be biased. They should not be one-sided. Okay, you state them in such a way that you can be able to explain both sides. Okay, so when you say they should not be biased, meaning that when you state them, you can be able to explain both sides. Okay, the negative and the positive, or the high and the low. Okay, so it is supposed to be two-sided. So let's look at them. Let's go through them, and then we see how to proceed. One of them is level of disposable income. Level of disposable income. How does it affect consumption? So you need to explain how it leads to high level of consumption and how it leads to low level of consumption. We say high levels of disposable income increase aggregate demand. High level of disposable income increase aggregate demand, and this leads to high levels of consumption because more goods and services are being bought. While low levels of disposable income create low aggregate demand, which finally causes low consumption. Now, let us be very careful when we're explaining these points here. Don't just jump into some conclusion. You must build your explanation. Okay? You cannot say high levels of disposable income lead to high levels of consumption. That is jumping into a conclusion. You must build the explanation from somewhere, because high levels of disposable income definitely will increase what we call the purchasing power. Okay, and the purchasing power in that case, we call it aggregate demand. Okay, yes, which leads to high levels of consumption finally. Okay, the other side is while low levels of disposable income create low aggregate demand, which finally causes low consumption. When you move to the next one, which is level of savings. Level of savings. What do we say about level of savings? High levels of savings reduce the amount of money available for current consumption. Okay? Because remember what we said about or consumption equals to, we have disposable income equals to C plus S. Okay? Disposable income equals to C plus what? S. Now, when we say high levels of savings reduce amount of money available for current consumption, there you know, because part of your money is you save it and use little for what? Consumption. Okay? So if you save more, then you are going to be you are going to use less. Is that understood? Ochoko?
Yeah, I was not getting your audio.
Yeah, I've said, I was explaining level of savings. We said high levels of savings reduce the amount of money available for what? Current consumption. Why am I saying that? Because you see, when people receive what we call disposable income, they save part of that disposable income. Okay. Now, when you save more, you're going to be left with less money to what? To use for consumption. That's why we're saying high levels of what? Of savings reduces the amount of money available for current consumption. And this leads to low levels of consumption in the economy. However, low levels of savings result into high consumption because more money is being set aside to finance current what? Consumption. Is that clear?
Consumption.
Is that clear now?
Yes.
Yes. The next is level of prices. Anit, I hope we are together. Level of prices. Now, level of prices of goods and services, definitely. Okay. High prices lead to low aggregate demand. High prices lead to low aggregate demand. Okay. Because goods and services become more expensive. Goods and services become more expensive, thereby creating low consumption. However, low prices lead to high aggregate demand because goods and services are cheap, and this creates high consumption in an economy.
What we have is this one.
Hello?
Where we have this.
Are people getting me?
Yes, we are getting.
Okay. Let's move on to the next. Availability of credit facilities to the consumers. Availability of credit facilities to the consumers. Now, presence of credit facilities like higher purchase leads to high levels of consumption because of the high aggregate demand for the goods offered on credit. However, absence of credit facilities leads to low aggregate demand and low consumption. I hope all of us understand that. You understand that higher purchase is another form of what? Of credit facility. Higher purchase, someone can buy something on higher purchase. Hope you know how it works. Okay. I can go and buy a vehicle on higher purchase. I buy on higher purchase, meaning that I pay a certain deposit and I'm given that vehicle. Then I continue paying the remainder of that money in installments, monthly installments or weekly installments, depending on the agreement you've made there. So if there is that, that facility is there, that arrangement is there of credit facility like higher purchase, people are able to consume more goods and services. Now, it may not be a vehicle, it may be maybe an item that you buy. So it increases the expenditure on consumption, okay, because of the higher good demand for the goods offered on credit. However, absence of credit facilities leads to low aggregate demand and low consumption. So that, I hope that is clear. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I just wanted to discuss for me the remaining one there. I wanted you to generate the explanations for those ones. Most of the time, we shall be generating explanations from you students because it makes you think. Okay. Let's look at government policy on taxation and subsidization. I think Sandra, you'll explain that for us. How does that one influence consumption in an economy?
So I can explain the one for size of market.
Okay, you explain it.
Okay, in a large market leads to a high aggregate demand because goods and services are being bought, while a small market leads to low aggregate demand because less goods and services are being bought, hence leading to low consumption.
Low levels of consumption. Okay, that is okay. Ochuku, explain for us government policy on taxation and subsidization.
Okay, what are they called?
So let me give you a definition.
Or you can choose any to explain there. You choose one of them there. And you should also prepare.
Number 8.8. Level of income distribution.
Which consists
in an economy, yes.
Now this is where I want to get X.
Explain that.
So what is this angle here?
Yes. Which we are waiting.
Equal distribution of income in the economy allows for people to consume more goods and services, whereas an distribution of income in the economy reduces on the aggregate demand of goods and services.
Hence,
low consumption.
hello, Chuku. The heading is factors which affect the level of consumption and economy. How does the saving come in? Ochuku, how does the saving come in? We are coming to saving. Saving is coming. Saving is the next actually. Sandra, can you make that one better?
Hence leading to high levels of consumption.
I want you to explain the entire thing. You improve his explanation. He has tried, but I want you to improve it.
Okay, even income distribution leads to high aggregate demand because more goods and services are being brought, and this leads to high levels of consumption, while uneven income distribution creates low aggregate demand, which causes low levels of consumption because less goods and services are being bought.
Because less goods and services are being bought. I want you to use things like fair income distribution. When you say fair income distribution, is better. Okay?
Instead of even.
Yes, you can say fair income distribution is more what? Because you cannot have, in an economy, you can't have a situation where you have even, where most people are receiving even income distribution. Does it exist?
No.
I've not heard of any economy where there is even income distribution. Okay, I think that is it. Ochuko, have you got that right?
Yes.
Okay. Annette, you are the next.
This video is going to be uploaded today.
Yes, which one are you? Which one are you discussing? Annette, I'm not getting you well. Number what?
Number 7.
Yes, number 7. Yes.
Expectation of future changes in prices of commodities.
Yes.
Prices, commodity food prices increase in a nearby future have high consumption consumers more where prices are low.
You're breaking. Commodities that are what? You're breaking. We're not getting.
Commodity prices are expected to increase in the nearby future have high consumption since consumers buy more goods currently where prices.
Yes. Where prices are low, yes. Whereas?
Whose prices are expected to decrease in the nearby future. Consumption currently, consumers are their money buy more goods in.
Yes. Today your network is not clear, but it's okay. Now, I want to give you another. You go and get the explanation for the remaining points. We are going to start from there the next time we meet. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear to everyone? But now remember, let me remind you, test is there on Tuesday. Prepare income inequality.
Yes.
Have you understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for the discussion. But now I want you to go and because we are going to start from there, we are going to discuss something about savings, and then we go back, look at the factors that influence savings. Now, those who don't have explanations, we are going to start from there. So next Friday, we shall be discussing those points. We are going to discuss meals. Yes. Just listen. Is that clear, member?
Yes.
Okay.
My work will just be to facilitate the discussion. You people will start discussing, because in economics, the moment you don't discuss, trouble. Okay?
Yes.
So next Friday, next Friday we shall be discussing factors that determine the level of savings. They are there in your books. After the discussion, then we calculate. There's that table there. We complete the table, we calculate. Then those curves, I'm going to show you those curves also the next time we meet, and then we shall see how to progress. So income inequality, test is on income inequality. Prepare. You know how to do the test online. I'm going to make the arrangements, okay?
Yes.
Is that clear? Please, you tell the rest. This girl is not there this time. This girl from Guru she's hiding. To inform her that the test is there on income inequality. Okay? Get papers. Okay. The question is available. You just need only paper and a pen. Income inequality. Read the entire income inequality. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, thank you for discussion. I wish you a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. All evidences of natural selection action. Stop looking at the evidences of what? Of natural selection. And those evidences, we say they are 4. They are 4.